Hello, my name is Tori Serta, and I chose Rain Man for my review. The summary of the movie is about a man named Charlie Babbitt, who is a car salesman, who is manipulative and used to getting what he wants, who is also very distant from his family, and once he learns that his father has died, he goes home to realize that all of his inheritance was cheated from him, so he thought, and given to a nursing home. He goes and inspects the nursing home, confused and determined, and realizes that he has a brother enrolled in the nursing home who, in fact, received all of the inheritance. He decides that he deserves half of it, kidnaps his brother Raymond, who is disabled, and goes across country via car, threatening the nursing home, saying that if he doesn't receive the half that he deserves, he's going to stick his brother Raymond into some dump of a nursing home in LA. However, throughout their journey, they become friends, and they realize a relationship that they haven't had throughout their whole lives. And Charlie, played by Tom Cruise, finds that the money is not what it's about. It's about family. And it's a beautiful story. I had no prior knowledge of the film. I heard about it in different movies. They would mention Rain Man or different media, memes. My mother was one, actually, who influenced me to watch it. She heard that it was on the movie list and encouraged me to give it a look. Autism spectrum disorder is what Raymond had. They said that throughout the movie, and it matched up with every symptom displayed throughout the textbook. It's classified as DMS-5, or commonly known as autism. Some of the symptoms of which include impairment in social interaction, as well as restrictive or repetitive behavior, interests, and activities, all of which were shown in the movie by Raymond, played by Dustin Hoffman. Other symptoms include eye contact, sensitivity to touch, and these were also examples. However, examples I decided to display throughout the film were repetition and touch. Repetition, Raymond had a knack. He would repeat the comedy skit "Who's on First" every time he became nervous throughout the film. It was a habit of his. So in the beginning of the movie, when Tom Cruise was trifling through his books, he began "Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know, third base." Towards the end of the movie, after they became very close and he was nervous about moving in with Tom Cruise, he also repeated the "Who's on first" bit. For touch, Raymond did seem very sensitive to touch, and even his closest relationships hardly involve physical contact. However, throughout the movie, you see his relationship grow with his brother as they become more and more comfortable with each other, and Dustin Hoffman becoming more comfortable with his brother's touch. They even have a scene where they're dancing. Tom Cruise is teaching his brother how to dance, and Tom Cruise decides to try to hug him at the end of the dance, and Raymond goes absolutely insane, smacking himself and screaming. So the symptoms Raymond doesn't display in the movie is the break of the daily routine. It says in the textbook that children with autism spectrum disorder tend to have trouble breaking routine. And although Raymond did have to watch Jeopardy every single day at 5 p.m., he was really easily capable of breaking his daily routine and crossing the country with his brother, which is almost impossible for a lot of children with autism spectrum disorder. Their treatment plan Charlie and Mr. Burner are opposing characters in Rain Man, with both different ideas for the treatment of Raymond. Mr. Burner believes that Raymond is incapable of making decisions and that he should be spending his life in the home, carefully watched by other people, and maintaining a specific schedule, whereas Charlie believes that he doesn't understand Raymond because he believes that Raymond is capable of making his own decisions, and after spending the past 167 hours together, he thinks that Raymond could potentially be a working member of society if he would just break from all of those daily routines living with his brother. I think my treatment plan is somewhere in the middle. I think that Charlie should be in Raymond's life, not just across the country, but living nearby. I think that Raymond, it's a good idea for him to be in a home, but maybe not for his entire life, sticking to a schedule. I think Charlie coming every so often, breaking him out, living with Charlie for a while, getting him out of the home would be a great thing to slowly get used to for Raymond throughout his life. Autism, the book versus the film. I do think that the film captured almost every single example that was discussed, such as eye contact or lack of eye contact and stimming behaviors. However, as I stated in the last slide, Raymond was really easily able to break from his daily routine, which is a little bit, it's not very, it doesn't seem like something that could actually happen. Children with autism spectrum disorder rarely are able to break out of their routine without throwing an unstoppable fit. And I thought that to be a little Hollywood. I believe the movie is very educational, especially for people who don't spend a lot of time around people with autism. It could teach them that they need more patience when interacting with them. And I learned that I should be careful and mindful of when it comes to touch with autistic people, considering I could be a very touchy person. Autism continued. A scene that provided insight of Raymond's disease was the doctor visit. The doctor decided to ask him a few questions, starting with numbers, asking him a bunch of mathematics questions to where Raymond had immediate answers to, making him seem as though he were a genius. However, when he asked him about money math, such as, if I were to give you $1 and take away 50 cents, how much would you have? Raymond replied, $1. He couldn't grasp the concept of different subjects that were still in the same general area. The film was incredibly entertaining. The acting was phenomenal. The relationships, it showed hardships. It was absolutely a wonderful film. I would definitely recommend it to other people for learning purposes as well as enjoyment, great filmography, and wonderful directing. Other film recommendations, I would recommend The Other Sister. I grew up loving this movie. I was surprised I didn't see it on the list of movies. It is another autism movie about a young girl coming into womanhood and all of the romance and hardships that go with it, especially with an overprotective family who just wants the best for their daughter. It's a wonderfully dramatic and beautiful film, and I absolutely recommend this movie to anyone. However, thank you so much for this opportunity of extra credit. I am Tori Serta, and this is the end of my presentation.